Good morning, one and all. Today we'll start revision of Unit 1 and Unit 2. First, let us start with Unit 2. This video will get recorded for 40 minutes. Okay? If it stops, means if we are in middle of the class and if the class stops, then log in with same ID and same password once again. Okay? Now, Unit 2 is Mission Elements, Introduction to Engineering Material and Riveted Joints. So we'll make revision of all these things. This is your syllabus, gear terminology of spur gear, helical and bevel gears, gear train, belt drives and types, chain drives, material handling equipment like introduction to belt conveyors, cranes, industrial trucks and bulldozers. So this is gear terminology. See, you look at this figure. Okay, if you look like this, you people will get little confused, but just listen to what I am saying and remember those points, so it becomes easy for you to draw, easy for you to remember. Okay, you see, this is gear, this complete one is gear. Okay, the top surface of this gear is addendum circle. The top circle is addendum circle, and here the base circle is dedendum circle, and the circle which is exactly at the middle of addendum and dedendum is called pitch circle. Addendum circle, dedendum circle and pitch circle. Now the distance between addendum circle to pitch circle is addendum, and the distance between dedendum circle to pitch circle is dedendum. Okay, and now see, this thickness of gear is called as face width, and this surface is topland. Okay, and now the pitch of gear is the distance. See, you have different profiles at different cross section, right? You have some different diameter at the bottom, inside the addendum you have different diameter at the dedendum. Now we calculate the pitch distance at pitch circle. So now the distance between this edge to this edge, it means any specified point on the gear teeth meeting pitch circle from here to the same point on some other gate teeth. So this distance is called a circular pitch. And now you see, between means at the edge of this, at the end of this gear, there is some radius. We call it as filler radius. Okay, so now see, though you have depth till dedendum, we don't use so much of depth. So here we call, means we, our gear means this is spur gear, and another spur gear will come and mate with this gear. It's up to some distance, the teeth of another spur gear will merge with this gear. So it will merge up to working depth. So this blue color line is marked as working depth. Now the distance between the working depth and total depth, means whole depth, is called as clearance. Clear? And now this surface above the pitch surface is called face, and below the pitch surface is called flank. Now the distance between this, means this teeth and this means distance between both the teeth is called as bottom land. Okay, another thing is that is called module. Module is total diameter of the gear. It means pitch circle diameter of the gear divided by number of teeth will give its module. Okay, is it clear for everyone? Somebody can unmute your mic and speak. ఎవరో ఒక చెప్పొచ్చు. అర్థమైందా, అర్థం కాలేదా, మళ్ళీ చెప్పాలా?
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Okay, that is gear terminology. Next one is we'll learn about different types of gears. Okay, this is spur gear. Spur gear is simple type of gear which is very easy to manufacture, and we use it everywhere for power transmission. Okay, these are helical gears. See, the disadvantage with spur gear is it will make so much of noise when you go for high loading conditions. But in case of helical gears, see, in case of a spur gear, the teeth are parallel to the axis. But here, in case of helical gears, the teeth are inclined to the axis. And this will not make noise even if you go for high loading conditions. Next one is bevel gear. Bevel gear is used for transmitting of powers at an angle. And if you remember, I have told you in your class that this will be used in differential of your vehicles. It means, see, for example, if your automobile is moving, hmm, and if you want to take turn, the inside wheels should move with lesser speed and outside wheels should move with larger speed, means greater speed. In that cases, there should be some speed variation. So we have some component in automobile called as differential, and what the purpose of differential is to rotate both the wheels with different speeds. So this is a component bevel gear which we use in differential, means in the design of differential. So the purpose of this bevel gear is to transmit the motion at an angle. Okay, these are different types of gears. This is a YouTube link to see its advantages and working. Okay, whatever I have explained will be available in this YouTube link. I'll upload this PPT in your reference globe. Please download PPT and go through all the video links which I'm pasting here below the figures. Okay. Next one, types of gears. We have different types of gears. First one is simple gear, compound gear, riveted gear, and epicyclic gear. Let us look at the figures and understand. See, here I have given the definition, but looking at the figure, I'll explain you more clearly. Okay. You look at the first figure. This is simple gear train. So here what happens is one gear is mounted on one shaft. Now power transmission will take place from one shaft to another shaft. Okay. But in case of compound gear, you have two gears mounted on single shaft. Now power from first gear, power transmission is getting transmitted to second shaft, and from second shaft it is getting transmitted to third shaft. But here there is a difference in the diameter of the gears. As a result, there will be difference in the torque and force. So wherever you want difference in torque and force, depending on our requirement, we use this type of compound gears. Next is riveted gear train. In case of riveted gear train, see, the power will come from one gear. It will transmit to another gear, and again it goes back to, means you have driving shaft and driven shaft, and in between you'll have another shaft where you gears are mounted, but it is just for transmitting of power, means it will not get connected to some other shaft. It gets transmitted like this. And here if you want to transmit to another shaft, again you will have another gear here, another gear train here, and again that will transmit. So this is riveted gear train. And this is epicyclic gear train. Here you have the middle one is called as sun gear, the side ones are called as planetary gears, and the last one is called as ring gear. So now wherever you want to use different gear ratios, there we use this epicyclic gear train. So here either the sun gear will be locked, or else the ring gear will be locked. In three gears will not move at a time. Any one of these two will get locked. And this type of gear train we use in cars, like automated cars, where we need not to change the gears. Okay, this is about different types of gears. Next is different types of belts. So this is a flat belt with rectangular cross section used to transmit the motion, but at high speeds it don't work, it gets slip. And that's why we go for V-shape or trapezoidal belts. It works at higher speeds. Okay, and this is a circular belt where you have a circular pitches. It means wherever your belt have circular grooves, there we go for circular belts. Okay, means these are different shapes. Now we'll go for different belt drives. This is a open belt drive. This is the driven shaft, and this is the driven shaft. So the bottom side is called as tight side, and the top side is called as slack side. The slack side is provided in order to increase the contact area. This is generally used for all type of gate belt drives. If you go for any mills like floor mills and all, there you can find this type of belts. So this is open belt drive. Next one is cross belt drive. Here the movement of driving shaft and driven shaft will be in opposite direction, and belt will cross each other. And as belts are crossing each other, there is some chance that these two belts meet at some point, and because there is some frictional force between both these belts, there are more chances of getting rupture, means it will get tear off. Now in order to avoid this, what we generally do is we increase the distance between both the belts. Now wherever you want to rotate the driven shaft in opposite direction of driver shaft. In such cases, we go for cross belt drives. Next one is stepped cone pulley. Here, see, you have a driving shaft and driven shaft. Now, depending on the speed ratio which you require, what we do is we just skip this belt from one pulley to another pulley. See, in the driving shaft also you have different pulleys, and in the driven shaft also we have different pulleys. Now, depend if you want to increase the speed, then we'll bring it from larger to smaller. Means this from larger gear to smaller gear. Now, if you want to decrease the speed, then we go to the larger gate to larger gate. So like this, depending on our requirement, we change the position of the belt. Okay, this is stepped cone pulley. And this is this fast and loose pulley drive. These type of drives we use in CNC machines. Here, this fast pulley will be connected to the machine shaft, and loose pulley will rotate loosely. It means that if this loose pulley rotates, there will be no movement of the shaft. So now if you want to run the machine, then we shift this belt to fast pulley. And if you want to keep it idle, then we shift it to loose pulley. The motor will run continuously, but there will be no movement in the machine shaft. So this is fast and loose pulley drive. This is jockey pulley drive. So here, wherever you have long distances, in such cases, there are more chances of belt to get slipped. In order to avoid these things, we provide some idler pulleys in between for more easy transmission of power from one place, means one shaft to another shaft. So that is about belt drives. Next one is chain drive. The first one is roller chain drive. See, it consists of cylindrical rollers. See, these are the rollers. This type of chains we generally see in cycle chains. So here the rollers are held with the help of side links, and you'll have two wheels, two sprockets. This chains are driven with the help of those sprockets. So this type of gates are very simple, reliable, and efficient for power transmission. Next one is silent gears. These are also called as inverted tooth chain. It consists of series of toothed links. See, these are the links, and now this is the sprocket, means this is the gear. Now all the gear teeth will get inserted into this chain and it will come out. So these types are mostly used for high power transmissions. Okay, next one is leaf chain. So this is a figure of leaf chain. Here also you have side links connected. These type of links are mostly used for lifting the things instead of carrying, means instead of transmitting, we mostly use this type of chains for lifting of heavy bodies. This is flat type of chain. So this type of chains are used for conveyors for movement of material. And these type of chains, this is engineering steel chains. These are used in elevators, lifts, conveyors, etc. Means wherever you need to lift heavy components, in such cases we use this type of chains. Okay, next we are going to learn about material handling equipment. The first one about in this is belt drive, belt conveyor system. A conveyor system is a carrying medium of a belt conveyor system. A belt conveyor system consists of two or more pulleys with an endless loop of carrying medium. See, notes is available in this site. See, this is the first type of conveyor. Conveyor, as I told, conveyors are used for carrying the material from one place to another. These are the roller bed conveyors. You have rollers like this. We'll place a component at one corner. As you have rollers, as rollers will be moving, that component will get shifted from one place to another. So at one end you will have a loading center, and another end you will have an unloading center. This is about roller bed conveyor. This is a flat belt conveyor. It means there will be some belt to carry the material. Similarly, you will have a loading and unloading at another end. And mostly this flat belt conveyors will be a closed loop conveyors. It means the belt will go, again it will come back, go and it will come back. This is modular belt conveyors. See, if you look at the first one, you have rollers which are stable, means you cannot remove and you cannot keep new ones. here in case of flat belts, it got some fixed length, but here in case of modular belt conveyors, this is not fixed one. Depending on our requirement, we keep on adding the pieces for this. Mostly this is made with plastic. So if you need, if you want to replace anything in between, you need not to replace the complete belt. You can remove the things which you want to remove, and again you can add some more in middle. So like this, it is flexible to remove and add the components to this type of conveyor. This is also material handling, means for transportation of materials within the system. This is cleated belt conveyor. This type of conveyors are used to carry the material in required quantity. See, for example, if you look at manufacturing of Lays, Kurkure, and all these food items, you can see this type of conveyors used in industry. So it will not just throw the material wherever you have some um, small components like this. It means small quantity or very sensitive quantity of things. In such cases, we use this cleated belt conveyors. This is curved belt conveyors. This can be made with any material, but the shape of the conveyor will be curved. Still now we have seen all straight conveyors. This is a curved shape conveyor. This is inclined or declined belt conveyor. It means if conveyor is like slope. See here it is straight and here it is slope. So if it is slope like this, then we call it as declined conveyor. And similarly, if conveyor belt is moving upwards, then we call it as inclined. Next one is cranes. See, cranes are two types. See, this is an automobile which we use. So you can take this to any place. Similarly, in the industry also, we have some cranes in order to carry heavy loads from one place to another. So these are different types of cranes, and these are part of our material handling system. This is industrial trucks. See, this is the truck, and if you see here, there is some projection like this, and over this we keep this pallet. So we keep objects over this and we move. So these type of trucks are called as industrial trucks. Okay, these are bulldozers. Bulldozers are also material handling. This mostly we use it for shifting the material. It means if you have sand or some material for pushing purpose, we use this type of bulldozers. And sometimes for if you change its position, you can keep some material in this area and you can carry it. So this is about different types of material handling system we use. Okay, that is your unit 2. Okay, do you have any doubts in unit 2? If anybody has any doubt, you can please tell me. If not, I'll go to unit 1. ఏదైనా అర్థం కాకపోయినా ఏదైనా మళ్ళీ చెప్పాలైనా మళ్ళీ చెప్పండి. చెప్పమంటే చెప్తాను. Okay. Okay, I'm going for unit 1. Okay. Yeah. Can you see the screen? కనిపిస్తుందా స్క్రీన్? ఎవ్వరు రెస్పాన్స్ ఇవ్వరే. Hello. Can you see
Yes,
unit
ma'am,
1?
కనిపిస్తుంది.
Okay. So in unit 1, we learn about mission elements, introduction to engineering materials, and riveted joint. So this is your syllabus. First, we'll learn about different types of cams and followers, then about different types of materials, heat treatment, and then about riveted joints, rivet failures, and efficiency calculation of riveted joint. So this is, you look at this figure. This is the figure of cam and follower. The rotating shaft is cam. Okay, means the driving shaft is cam and the driven one is follower. Okay, this is the rod and this is the bearing. So this is the axle. When the axle is rotating, the cam will rotate. As a result, the follower will move. See, the linkage of cam and follower work cam and follower work are used to transmit the motion from one link to another. A cam is rotating component in a mechanical linkage that drives the mating component, that is follower. The transmission motion may be reciprocating, linear, or simple harmonic. So reciprocating, in what case it is reciprocating, in what case it is linear, and in what case it is harmonic. Those things we'll see in the coming up slide. But here in this slide, you remember that cam is a rotating shaft and this rotation will be transmitted to a follower and the follower will make a linear or reciprocating or harmonic motion. Okay. So in the first class itself, we have learned about nomenclature of cam. Here there is some video which explains about nomenclature of cam. Please look at this video. Okay. Means he is showing with all the animations, it becomes easy for you to understand the definition. In your class notes, we have given the definitions and figures.
Explain the main terms used.
Can you see the video screen? Shriyanka? Somebody please respond. Can you see the